What I did to those girls was a true and terrible form of psychological and sexual torture. Many broke. So young and unprepared for the horrors of life, their minds snapping like twigs, and so I put them out of their misery. I saw no point in sending a mindless girl back to her family that couldn't contribute to society. To me, they were already dead. They had killed themselves. It's funny how we can go on thinking that there's a line we would never cross, whilst having long since crossed it. I thought rape a thing so evil that it was far beyond my capability, and I made sure death was the penalty for that crime. I may have never physically forced a girl into my bed, but the truth was they were all forced, just not by me directly, but rather at my command, and I had in every way become a compulsive rapist of young women. After I had conquered Daemony, my people were already becoming discontent with life in the Dawn Empire. They had gone from being grateful for having food to complaining that they weren't being given enough, even though the quantity that I allotted to them hadn't changed. The Empire produced far more food than was necessary, of course, but I stored all the excess away for my armies, potential famine, and my larger plans. I saw their complaints as threats to the stability and safety of the nation, so I punished anyone who spoke out against me severely. For the most part, I believed my system to work, and I strived to give all my people the necessities of life. The problem was that even though my nation esteemed all people as equal, people are never the same, especially in regard to what they contribute to society. How just is it to reward the indolent as much as the motivated? Not at all. And my dream of an equal society failed with disastrous results. You see, by nature, people are both lazy and greedy. Unless driven by an ideal or passion, when given a choice, they'll always choose the easier option or the one that will benefit them most. Seeing that my people lost the vision of the empire I was building and that I ensured everyone the same wage, few were motivated to perform the harder jobs or those ones that required more training and education, unless they were members of the guilds. So I took away their choice and forced those people that showed ability into the professions I needed and punished anyone who didn't meet the quotas I set. I took away their freedom to maintain productivity, stability, and equality, and believed it justified. I was a hypocrite, wanting all people to be equal but granting privileges to my soldiers. I needed to incentivize military service to maintain the strength of my armies. This eventually created a class distinction as real as the aristocracy I overthrew, but I didn't care. I rewarded loyalty, which secured my military and thus my power, which I used to suppress and punish all discontents. I eventually discovered the duplicity of the craftsmanship guilds, charging more for their services than my set pricing, which explained why they had such ease in keeping their members. I tried my best to suppress them, but they unionized against me. They knew I needed their skilled labor, so instead of punishing them, I executed their wives, daughters, and sons. This brought them in line, but sowed the seeds of hatred that would eventually lead to my downfall. There was a middle-ranking guild member from the Artistry Guild that took particular grievance to my actions. You all know his name, Rhaeton Leosa. I didn't even know who this Rhaeton was at first, for he was still a young man and did his work in the background. He was not even a guild master. However, it was his efforts to oppose me through enriching the guilds and circumventing my policies that earned him the position of Master of the Artistry Guild. If I had known of his actions at that time, I would have executed him without hesitation, but he was subtle in all his dealings, as with the other guild masters. They had learned to do nothing too conspicuous. I thought I had the guilds mostly in check, though I couldn't have been further from the truth.